So I wanted to share with you a little bit more of my backstory, who I am. I was born in Liverpool and left Liverpool in the 1980s to attend our college in Canterbury. And once I completed my BA, I moved to London, and that's where I've been till this very day. In London, actually within the first year of arriving there was when I discovered yoga for myself. And I'm so grateful for that, because it really has been the thread throughout my life that's helped me to have a tool to take care of myself and to better understand my body and how it works. I started in Iyengar yoga, and I was very thankful that when I did become pregnant in 1990, that I had a book called Active Birth. Some of you will have heard of that, written by my colleague and good friend and mentor, Janet Velasquez. I was actually gifted that book about 3 years earlier when I was pregnant for the first time. That baby didn't stay. I did miscarry, but the book did stay. And so in 1990, out it came again. And looking in the information at the back of the book, I discovered that Janet offered classes from her home within a 10-minute walk of where I lived. So, I mean, how lucky was that? And it was incredibly helpful to have Janet's classes to attend, because all my other yoga teachers stopped wanting to work with me once I was pregnant. So it's a very different world that we worked in then in yoga. Not like now, where there's pregnancy yoga offered in every gym, yoga center, etc. So I had my son in 1990, followed by my daughter in 92. And I continued to work as an artist after both of their births. And I was teaching back in the art college where I did my MA in printing as well. But you know, 2 children is very different to 1. And so I did decide a little while after having my daughter that I needed to just take a sabbatical for a year or so from trying to combine making art and being a mum. It just became too much. And that just allowed me to really enjoy taking care of 2 small children, but also give me the headspace to consider what was the way forward for me. Was I going to continue making art? Maybe move into teaching art? And none of these quite sat with me. And thankfully, from somewhere came a thought, I wonder if they do training for those wonderful classes I attended while I was pregnant, because it brought together these newfound loves, one being the yoga, and 2, this newfound fascination in the whole subject of birth, and pregnancy, birth and parenting. So thankfully there was, and I rang the Active Birth Centre that was operating for Janet's home at that time, and they were actually at that point beginning to interview for the next intake. So within a couple of weeks I'd had my interview and been accepted, and then began the journey the following September of my training. So I began teaching from 97, so I think it was about 95 that the training began. Very grateful for that training with Janet, alongside Lolly Stirk. Her husband John Stirk was one of the visiting yoga teachers, as was Sandra Sabatini. It really was a very thorough training. We also did a lot of midwifery content and that as well, alongside the body work and working with groups. It's been the foundation, I suppose, of all I've done since. And you know, I have been teaching now for going 23 years. In the last 10-15 years, more and more my focus has moved to that transition via birth, you know, from the pregnancy into motherhood. So exploring very much the idea of the movement from independent woman to being somebody's mother. And it's quite a journey and a huge transition. But I do think it has within it the capability to be really transformational in our lives as women. So that's, you know, the idea behind the different things I'm going to offer on the website for you to purchase and to observe and watch and follow, is some of the things that I've discovered along the way and how I've evolved the body movement work I do with very new mums in the 4th trimester, so the first 3 months, but then how that movement, body, breath work, and also holding the space for discussions, etc., how that evolves as we move through that first year and beyond. You know, I not only run You Baby and Me for the 4th trimester and then Mama and Me for mums with older babies, I also run sessions, women's yoga, and that has women there that may not have had babies. It has new mums, maybe a baby of 9 months, a year at home, and others with teenagers, you know, or like myself, much older children. I've got women in those classes who are going through the menopause, and I'm going to have a pregnant woman joining those sessions in the next couple of weeks. So it really is a journey. Anything else I wanted to say about myself, because I've got a little off piece there? I don't think so, other than, you know, this area of working with women does feel incredibly creative to me. So I feel that that creative person, the artist, is still very much within me, and how I approach the work that I share with other women. So yes, thank you. Great to have you here, and I'm looking forward very much to sharing much more with you. Thanks.